You ready to do push-ups, Dan and Chris? Well, Chris shared his story last Sunday, and thankfully I waited till last night on the way home to listen to what he had to say, because I was like, man, this bro's getting old, or like he went to a different place or something. Like, this was pretty dramatic. Like, no, it was awesome though. No, I think I get what you're saying. Like, the first day was definitely um, pretty physically stressful. There was most of the day physical activities. Got a little frustrating sometimes. Everyone had to do everything as a team, so he would get everyone to do push-ups, and then he would say the push-ups, and everyone would have to repeat after him, and then he would say move before you move. And so then he would say reconvert, which means you can like stand back up again. And of course, some of these guys were so done with doing push-ups, they started standing up before he said move. So we had to start over again, do push-ups again. It's like, come on, guys. There's 42 guys there, and of course, at least a couple of them had to. We just went till he felt like we were done. I mean, guys were in pain. We kept going till we didn't have anything left, pretty much. One thing that stood out to me is, so we were split into 4 different groups, and I was just randomly, or it seemed random, made the squad leader of our group. And one thing that I struggle to do is to stand up and speak my piece. And I can lead, but I tend to be more quiet leader. And the team called me out on it and said that they're standing with me. They got my back. They want me to like tell them what they want, what I want from them, and they're like, they got me covered, and just it did something to me to like bring that inner man out of me to stand up for what I believe. One thing that was kind of eye-opening to me, there was pastors from all over the world there. 42. There's probably anywhere from 23 to 60-year-old. And it just really shocked me how many of them were still dealing with porn and adultery, just things like that. Was pretty. Yeah, it just did something to me, just to see that and hear that stuff. Then we also had the one exercise where the point of it was that details matter. So we all had our instructions, and he gave clear instructions, or we thought. He repeated it like 3 times. He got the guys to, like, just anyone that wanted to could repeat the instructions back to him. And like, they couldn't get it right for anything. Like, they would repeat everything. He's like, no, that's not the entire instructions that I gave. And we would just keep trying, till finally we got it. And I thought I had it, and like everyone thought they had it. And still, when we went to do the exercise, there was a couple people in the group every time that didn't get it right. Like, the zipper was the wrong way, or like the logo was turned the wrong way. Like, something was wrong. And it was just super frustrating. Then to the last time, he said he's going to give us one more chance yet to do it. And then everyone got it right except for one guy. And that guy had said he'd got him right every single time before that, and it was the last time he got it messed up. And the other thing that really stuck out to me too was, so we had this mud pit, which Chris emphasized on very, deeply. Thank you for that. Uh, After we felt like we were pushed to our limits, like we gave it everything we had. He got everyone lined up in the mud pit, just lay down, and he was talking to us for a while. And he's like, "This feels good, doesn't it?" It was like, "Oh yeah, like this cool mud." Like after we were sweating and like working out, he's like, "Where else does that show up in your life?" He's like, "Where else are you comfortable with living in your sin?" He said, "Look where you're at. You're in the mud, in the gup, in the soup." He said, "That's not where you want to be. Like, where else is there sin in your life that you're comfortable with just laying in there because you don't want to push through the pain?" And that was something that really stuck out to me, was that, like, where are these men that are going to push through when things get hard instead of just laying back into their old man, into their old self, into the old sin that you were in? Like, where are these men that are going to stand up? Um, and then we had the time at Friday morning was pretty powerful. We had 3 different stations, which Chris kind of explained what we were doing there. Kind of had 3 different things we were supposed to do. We were doing it for like 2.5 hours. Everyone was supposed to be on their own. You weren't supposed to help each other out. You were just do it at your pace, give it everything you got. And it just felt like after you felt done, like you felt tired, there was just like another wave of energy just came in to just keep going, keep going, yeah. And at one point, all the coaches had left, and like they just weren't around anymore. And it was just okay, like I guess we're just gonna keep going till who knows how long. Actually, another thing that was really powerful for me was writing the eulogy. To write it in to go out to a graveyard and write it in the perspective of my wife, from like the kind of man I was up to this point. And then that evening we wrote it in the perspective of like a grandchild or someone in when we're 100 years old, like 80 years from now, 90 or 70 or 80 years from now. And that really got me to thinking, like, what kind of man do I actually want to be remembered for? What kind of role model am I right now? And how are people going to remember me when I'm gone? And then Friday evening, so after we were done, we went back and cleaned up, got in our suits and stuff for our banquet. And then we got back there to the where the event was, and of course there was still some things that we got missed, or that we had missed. We were all supposed to be in formation late in the morning, and radical formation. Like every single person had to be exactly the same. Like we all had to have our zippers on our backpack the same way. We had to have our water bottles in front of our feet facing the same direction, and like every single thing had to be the same. Well, that Friday morning, the one guy didn't know where his backpack was, or he lost it somehow. So then yeah, someone had to pay for that. Actually, so a little bit before that, we had instructions on evenings after we went back. So he basically told them, we're not allowed to watch porn, we're not allowed to be on social media, and we're not allowed to. Do you remember what? Yeah, any intoxicating substances. So those 3 things. And then the next morning, there was some guys that were on social media. And yeah, they all went up front, and he got everyone else to do push-ups. So we just kept going till he was done talking with him. And it was just multiple things like that where, someone made a mistake or didn't listen to instructions, and then everyone else had to pay for it. Till Friday evening, we still had all these things. He said there was like 15 things that he was counting. So we were all standing there in our suits, and he said he needs 2 push-ups for each one of these. So that's 30 push-ups. And of course, we were all sore, and we were in our suits. We didn't want to get all sweaty. But he's like, someone has to pay for this. And then he got his staff and volunteers to come up there and do the push-ups. And it just did something to us to see them doing something that we were supposed to be responsible for them to come up and just willingly pay our price, which is basically what God did for us. He took our sin. He took our blame. And then the last thing I wanted to share was the one message the guy had about. So he shared that in the order it's supposed to be God, your wife, your family, and then the ministry. And he said, so how many of you, what would you rate how would your wife rate her importance versus the ministry? And some of them, quite a bit of them, were 3s, 4s, some were 7s, 8s. And then he said, the reality is, he said 1 to 9 is the same. He said, if she's not the second most important to God, if ministry is still anywhere before her, then you don't have everything in order. Because if your family is out of order, then you can't effectively run the ministry either. So he said, if you have anywhere from 1 to 9, those are all the same in the ratings. I think that's all I have to share for this morning.